Hello, hello, hello. So I'm here to give you guys the update on that employee manager situation for from the workplace that I gave on March 6th. So on Monday, I gave the scenario of an employee having a performance evaluation, and the manager that delivered it gave the scenario. On Wednesday, I gave my thoughts around it and some opportunities that both that manager and that employee could have leveraged to make that experience a lot better. And then today, Friday, I'm giving you the results, like what happened in that scenario, because this whole month of March, I'll be giving you guys, since it's Women's Month, in honor of Women's Month, my experiences in the workplace and other people's experience, employees, clients, customers, that I've experienced in all my 15 years of being in human resources. And it particularly focused on women's experience that I've experienced, and lived experience, learned experience, case studies. So we've decided to call it case studies because we're reviewing it after the fact, and seeing where is it that we could have improved or add value. And it's never coming, again, I've mentioned this before, it's never coming from a place of blame. It's always coming from a place of what could we have done better. Where were there some opportunities for both everybody involved, and so we can learn from it. And in case I've done it, which I have, and in case you have done it or experienced it, in whether from a manager standpoint, from being a manager or from being that employee, how you could do better, or how we can all do better in either situation, right? So today I'm giving you the results of that particular experience, and how that employee responded, and what was the outcome. So the outcome of that experience, of that scenario, was that after the employee sat down with their manager and completely didn't say anything, really. The manager asked them if they had anything to say. They didn't. They were kind of like in shock. Please go back and see the other videos to kind of see the details of the scenario. But the employee decided to kind of marinate on the information for a little bit, and a few days later went back to the manager and kind of shared and asked, Kay, and what, can I go over, I had some follow-up questions as it relates to my review. Can you sit down with me for a few minutes to kind of answer them or go over them? Manager said absolutely. So the employee had a copy of the evaluation because they had to sign off on it. And they brought a copy for themselves, they brought a copy for their manager, and they kind of went over point by point of what they, where is it that they wanted to add their thoughts to it. And every single thing that the manager mentioned in terms of the employee being, a top-notch employee, because the score was 4 out of 5. And the employee made their comments. The manager made it sound like 4 out of 5 was not a good score. It was a pretty good score. So the employee came back and kind of spoke up and said, it's 4 out of 5. It's pretty darn good. And they kind of also shared that after looking at the score, they realized that the low scores that made the total score 4 out of 5, it was really because the employee rated themselves lower than everybody else around them. So that manager got some insights that probably they missed. So the employee shared that, and then they also shared that where areas that they probably would have capitalized on and kind of improve on. But the employee is a pretty good employee. Their peers, like what they're doing. They're collaborating, their teamwork, their projects. They take initiative. They have that customer service vibe. That's what they do. Everybody loves being around them. This person is a go-to person. Everybody comes to this person for everything. If that's you, then you are doing a pretty good job, pretty awesome job, I might add. And that employee shared their thoughts about the entire thing. The manager agreed with every single thing that they said. And as a result, the employee, and they left that experience, a little bit better, a little bit more informed. And the employee said, they kind of spoke up as it relates to the bonus side of it, and said to the manager, if I definitely deserve this bonus, if there is a bonus coming, because of all of the list of experience, all the different things that they did, and they list those things, showed it to the manager. The manager couldn't negate it because it was all fact. It happened, and the employee had their receipts. Cover yourself. Always, always, always. That's what HR, anybody in HR, they will tell you. Always, always have your facts, your data, your fact finding. Yes, the business, the organization keeps records, but you keep your own record. Always. So the employee had their receipts and they were able to share. Manager agreed, and it was that initial 5 or 7 minute review turned into a 45-minute hour review the second time around, because the employee knew that there were some discrepancies in how the manager delivered the information, and they didn't have the review in front of them, so they couldn't say anything against it. So they decided to go back, did their homework, come back to the manager, and gave the manager their thoughts and their feedback. And they did. Later on, that employee, I unfortunately have to tell you that the employee did not stay with the organization, because the employee ended up not getting any bonus, even though others around them did. And 6 months later, the employee decided to leave. And when they did decide to leave, that employee, the manager offered them 3 times more what to counter offer, and there was just too much damage had already been done, and it was a second thought and not an initial thought. Employee realized it, so they left. And that's the end of that scenario. That employee, who was a female, that had that experience with a manager who was also a female. So that's your story, possibly, or you know somebody else's who it was their story. It was definitely my story quite a few times in different workplaces that I worked in. And once I left, I even had, supervisors calling me back, business owners calling me back and telling me to come back. And I was like, no. So don't disempower others to empower yourself. That's what that manager did. The employee realized what was going on. They gave the opportunity for them to show them that they valued them, that they had a seat at the table, that they cared enough about them to make them feel engaged, that they, their voice mattered, that they, what they were bringing to the table, that it was important enough, not only the work, but also the person, that the manager, the company cared about the person. So keep those. That's the points. The points were: keep your receipts, make sure you're valuing your employees, let them feel it, find out what their feedback is, let them know that you care about them, and show it to them. Not only saying it with words, but recognize it intrinsically. What is it that employee values? Intrinsically and extrinsically. Yeah, I think that's what you say, how you say it. And yeah, that's the outcome. And we'll be back Monday with another scenario, another workplace scenario of case studies that we're going with. Okay, so thank you guys, and bye.